Hey guys, how's it going? Amy here, and I'm just down by the canal here in Selby. The reason why I'm at the canal is, one, it's a gorgeous day, but secondly, because our story this week takes place by a lake. Now, I know what you're thinking, Amy, a lake and a canal are two different things, and you're right, they are two different things, but because of current travel restrictions, I couldn't quite get to a lake, so we're making do with a canal. But look at it, it's pretty gorgeous today. So our story today kicks off with Jesus being by a lake, Lake Galilee, and let's begin. So Jesus had a plan. He knew he could carry on spreading his awesomeness all by himself, but he knew it would go even further if he got a few people to help him out. He was a great team player, that Jesus guy. I kind of expected that Jesus would choose the best of the best. Kind of like, you know, the super rich, the super cool, the ones that had the best clothes and the biggest houses. But he didn't. He chose a bunch of flops. People were following Jesus everywhere. He had a genuine celebrity status and everyone wanted to hear what he had to say. One day, Jesus was teaching by Lake Galilee, and there were so many people pushing to get closer to him that they almost pushed him in the lake. Eek. So Jesus climbed into a boat and told Simon, who owned the boat, that he fancied a trip out on the lake. Now, Simon was a fisherman, but lately he hadn't been a very good fisherman. But Simon pushed off from the shore, and then Jesus said, "Stop, that'll do." Simon was confused. "But I thought you wanted to go," he said, but Jesus just seated himself down, facing the crowds of people, and carried on speaking to them. After a while, Jesus turned round and said to Simon, "Right, let's catch some fish." Simon was even more confused. He had been out all night trying to catch fish and hadn't caught a single one. In fact, he was convinced that all the fish had disappeared. He normally caught a few, but this time he'd only managed to drag up an old rock and a few stinky old sandals. Simon looked at Jesus. There was something about his face that seemed different. Simon kept staring at Jesus. Eventually, Jesus broke the awkward silence and said, "Come on, Simon, let's go fish. Row out a bit and sling out the nets." Simon thought maybe Jesus knew where all the fish had gone. Either that he was not playing a very funny game at all. But then he still had a look on that face of his that Simon couldn't quite figure out. Sort of serious, kind of happy, sort of a "trust me, it's okay" face. "Okay then," said Simon slowly. "Tell me where to drop the nets and I'll do it, boss." When Simon came to pull up the nets, he was totally flabbergasted. There were so many fish in the nets, they were starting to rip. As he pulled and pulled, Jesus smiled, and they both began to laugh. But Simon couldn't get the nets into the boat, and even when he called his fishermen friends over to help, there were so many fish in the boat that the boats started to sink. Even James and John, pretty good fishermen, had never seen this many fish in one place before. It was amazing. Did Jesus have a special fish radar or something? When the fish just kept on piling into the boat, Simon suddenly realized what had just happened. He began slowly to put all the pieces together in his head. So Jesus had done all this cool stuff. People were following him everywhere. Jesus was in his boat, and Jesus had just given him the biggest catch of fish he had ever seen. Whoa, maybe Jesus was actually... Simon fell on his knees and mumbled, "Jesus, don't come near me. I'm a bad man. I've done bad things. I'm not good enough for you. You're just too awesome." "Simon, don't worry. You're a wonderful fisherman. In fact, you all are. Except you're not going to catch fish anymore. You're going to catch people." Simon was confused as usual, and his mates didn't really know what Jesus meant. But eventually they were convinced it could only mean something good. So they pulled in their boats, left the fish the nets, the oars and everything behind, and they ran after Jesus. You know, often that story is referred to as Jesus calling the disciples, but you know what? He's calling you too. And I suppose the big question is, will you follow him? Will you choose to follow Jesus? And what does that mean actually? Because he's not really walking around the earth right now, is he? We can't just like do a follow the leader kind of thing. But it's listening to what he says and doing it. It's praying to him and having a chat. It's letting him kind of like take charge in our lives, because we know that he is good and he wants the best for us. Will you choose to follow Jesus just like Simon and James and John?